So, how many of you are suffering? I'm not just talking about right now, but if you've ever suffered before. Now, how many of you have blamed God for your suffering? Well, I'm going to tell you a story. Not a Bible story per se, but it's a story within a story. One night, I was paying my bills while my girl was at basketball practice, and Mira was at cheer, and Malaya was staying at a friend's house. I heard a knock on my door, and it was the police. Knowing the time that we are living in, I tried to stay calm so that they wouldn't take any action against me, but I'm not who they wanted. They already had who they wanted. My son. My son had been caught in the middle of basketball practice with marijuana. Now, as a mother, I was furious. I went down to the police station to bail him out, but they said bail was going to be a large sum of money and that Michael was going to have to stay in jail until I could pay. He had just turned 18 years old a month prior, but he would be in with all the adults charged with things way worse than his. Now, I'm not naive. I have been blessed with perspective by God, and I thank Him every day for that. What He is showing me through this is that the court system in America is flawed. But what many of you cease to understand is who created the justice system. The word justice usually coincides with the word law, but the laws that were made to do, they not always serve the purpose of justice. Do you know why? Because the laws are made by humans. And do you know what humans are? Flawed beings. Yes, we are all flawed beings. Can I get an amen? Lord, those amens came from the voice of the beings you created, and I had a moment wondering why you even created us, or some of us anyways. Why create such flawed creatures that make others feel as though they're not equal amongst others? And do you know what he replied? Nothing. He said nothing. Sometimes he just doesn't give us the answers. He makes us experience more things so that we can answer the questions for ourselves. You didn't think the story was going to end there, did you? As most of you know, my husband was killed this year. What I have neglected to share with y'all was the details. My husband had his headlights out when he was driving at night and got pulled over. He was apprehended because, according to the cops that shot him, they thought he was high. They asked him to step out of the car, and when he got out, they asked for his license. Not the way it usually goes, but neither did shooting someone for reaching for their wallet because he thought it was a gun, or pulling someone over for their headlights and killing them based on racial biased assumptions. I think this was the moment I started to doubt God. I started to think that maybe I was not meant to be in this position, and that's why I took a sabbatical. I didn't want to leave you behind, but how was I supposed to lead you all to God when I clearly was having trouble fighting the battles He threw my way? I was left with one son in jail, no husband, and another daughter and son that I had to financially and emotionally support. How was I to come out of this with hope? How was I supposed to give thanks to God when it seemed like He had taken everything in my life? Everything in my life that seemed to have any sort of balance. How was I going to get meals into my kids' mouths? Or how was I going to deal with my son being in jail until I could earn enough to pay his bail? Another question I wish I had the answer to, especially in that moment. So the next step was obviously to get another job, to find a place where I could make a good income, a place that would not take me away from my son and my daughter all day, a place where I could maintain some sense of sanity. I got a job with my daughter at her middle school. I was a school counselor. With my Christian background, they were happy to have me mentor their students and give order to their lives, order that I didn't even have in my own life. They would come to me with their problems about how their parents didn't give them enough money to buy the new PlayStation, or how all of their friends had the new iPhones and all their parents got them was an Android. You know, the real problems. I did meet some teachers. They asked me to have lunch with them during, when the kids are given a lunch and playtime, and I was not surprised to see that I was the only woman of color at the whole lunch table. I looked around, and my little girl was one of few as well. I thought I could make some friends in these teachers, but one day they were all talking about their husbands, and they asked me about mine. I couldn't lie, so I said, "He's dead."
Wait, what? How? Aren't you like 40?
Was it a heart attack or cancer or a car accident?
He was killed, shot by the police.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Well, what did he do?
Well, didn't do anything, actually.
I mean, he must have. My husband is the chief of police, and he says that they don't just shoot people that don't deserve it. Was he aggressive or rude to them? Or aggressive? Yeah, was he not polite with the police? I feel like that happens sometimes.
They get mad at that.
No, he was a perfect gentleman. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
Well, I'm sorry, Josephine, but there must be something that happened that they're not telling you about. This reminds me of the whole only Black Lives Matter thing. Blue Lives Matter too. No, cops are bad. They have to pass a lot of qualifications.
Well, honestly, I think that all lives matter.
Yeah.
Me too. You okay, Joe?
Yeah. I forgot. I have a meeting with a student in a few minutes. He asked me to meet with him at the end of lunch. Lady, have a good one. As I walked out of that lunchroom, I looked back and saw Malaya with her friends and wondered if she'd had a similar experience. That thought struck fear in my heart. I needed to find refuge. Dear Lord, I have left the place you had once given me a congregation to lead. Now I feel lost. You gave me a partner who stood by my side, and now they've taken him away. You even blessed me with 3 beautiful children who are now staring at a figure of who I used to be. Lord, I don't know who I am anymore. Satan has thrown every obstacle my way, and I'm suffering. God, I'm suffering. Lord, in this moment, I just want to submit to you, God, to ask you to help me. For I know that you are a good God. And in your word, you said that you would never leave me nor forsake me. Amen. You are such a good Lord. So good. Lord, I pray that you would show me and everyone here that through all the suffering in our lives, Lord, that You have brought my husband into your arms, away from the turmoil created by the sinful nature of humans. Lord, you have shown my child struggle to show that this life is not easy and death is not to be feared, because heaven is the goal for a reason. Lord, you have shown my daughters what a strong mother looks like, and you have shown them that they can surpass any obstacles that they are brought against. Any obstacle that they are brought against with the love and the power of God. God, I thank you for the love you bring about in the people who have realized their past mistakes. Lord, I just thank you for showing the injustice in the police force and justice system. You use us for your glory, Lord. If we follow your law, God, we will get justice. Lord, show others that the greatest commandment is love. Just as I ran to my son that day, I run to you every day, Lord. I feel your love, Lord. I feel your comfort. I feel my husband in this moment. In you, I feel everything I've lost and everything I will ever gain. Open arms, the arms of his son. Why should he be the only one?